Welcome everyone to the All Effin' Wrestling Show, a Festivus for the rest of us. JFB, what do we have on the show today?
It's interesting that you ask because we are going to do the news and then we go into the grievances of Festivus, otherwise known as Grind My Gears.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what grinds our gears. We're gonna have feats of strength. We're gonna have serenity now. We're gonna have everything,
Yeah, we are.
like everything, like maybe even like a Festivus miracle.
A
All this and
Festivus.
more on the All Effin' Wrestling Show. Hit
I
it,
think we
JFB.
should hit it.
Tell me what's my age. Tell me what's my occupation. Tell me what's my race. Tell me is it with inflation? Tell me what's my age. Tell me what's my race. Tell me all my sexual distaste. Tell me what you need. Tell me how you feel. And tell me all your information.
Welcome to this week's edition of the All Effin' Wrestling Show Holiday Edition. It's the holidays for pretty much the next couple of weeks for us here at the All Effin' Wrestling Show. We're decorating the offices. We're listening to Mariah Carey on loop. It's a Christmas miracle, if you will. Does Canada celebrate a different Christmas than America? Like you guys have a different Thanksgiving than us?
No, we was same. Christmas is Christmas. But here, sometimes people don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah,
So we're starting off the holiday season with a bang.
yeah.
Something that everyone can get behind. A Festivus for the rest of us.
Ah, Jeffrey's in the house.
And introduce yourself, fine sir.
Well, you know, I go by many names, but I am the almighty JFB, the Chief Shenanigans Officer of AFW. Brand new title. I love it. The CSO, the Chief Shenanigans Officer.
And I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing dry, damn it. And I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend, Bad Take Tiff. Have you heard this girl's takes? They're
Horrible.
horrible, horrible takes.
Horrible.
Like, but she's my good friend, and I like to give her a shout out and say hi. As she's taking time to watch the show today.
Yeah.
Hey, Bad Take Tiff, how you doing?
And of course, we have Millennial Noob. He is he's our resident regular. This is the norm from Cheers of our show is Noob. He's on every episode. I love it.
So I think, like, instead of doing the news,
Yeah.
we could call this the feats of strength.
The feats of strength.
And Festivus isn't over until you can make me tap, JFB.
All right. Here we go. Feats of strength. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. So we have some news, a little premature, but right now the WWE is expected to break attendance records with the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's a huge, because this is right after Royal Rumble. This is the pay-per-view in between Rumble and and WrestleMania. This is the big one. So
I think that the Elimination Chamber has become almost like a fifth big pay-per-view
yeah,
for WWE
yeah,
because it's on the road to Mania, and
yep,
many Mania decisions will come out of this.
yep, absolutely. And it's expected that John Cena will be there at his last Elimination Chamber, at his last pay per view in Toronto, Canada. So you have to go, you have to watch because
You know, I almost think that this is his how he gets into some big Mania match.
I think this is how he might actually win the championship.
Oh, you think he's going in as champion?
Yeah,
Mania?
yeah,
Oh, and then he goes out on his back,
yeah,
like tradition says.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
yeah. I think he wins the championship from Gunther at Elimination Chamber. He goes into WrestleMania, loses it to Gunther.
Gunther or someone else, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah,
Because
I
they might
mean,
want to just have him be a transitional champion to get the belt on the next
yeah,
person.
it could be Seth Rollins, could be CM Punk. We don't know. Oh,
Because the neat thing about this is if Gunther loses in the Elimination Chamber, it doesn't hurt his stamina
nah,
because he's something could happen where he
Yeah.
gets screwed out of the belt or something like that and
Yeah.
sets up his match for Mania. So who knows?
I would love to see Cena versus Punk one last time at WrestleMania. Like, how amazing would that be to see CM Punk from the summer of Punk 2.0 taking on John Cena? Oh,
Okay, I can't hold back anymore.
okay,
So a project I was working for with Natalia Markova.
yeah,
So I just she just posted it this morning, and she's giving us credit and all the social media on X and Instagram, and NWA is posting it, and because show the clip with
yeah. Let's show the clip.
She is the Crush, Natalia Markova!
Look at her, lethal and lovely.
He is a huge shot to make history.
Champion, Jack Stinger! Beautiful!
Champion. Ooh. Here we go. Oh! The leg set up. Ooh.
The knee!
Oh. Looking for something big.
Oh, she hits the...
Oh,
No.
Kylie, look out!
There it is.
Oh!
The drop kick. Hesitation, but it was still enough. The missile.
No,
the
no, no.
chair.
Look out!
Coming through. DDT. Setting up double underhook. DDT. Over had it scouted, and there it is.
Enough deep.
And again, the beauty. Out of a cannon. Boom.
And Markova.
Coming up. Oh, no. Can't you get a DDT? Going in. Oh, on the floor. Look out on the wood stage.
Oh, my
suplex.
God.
Up and it up. No.
That is so bad. That shot with the sheet cake pan is amazing.
I'm just Jay didn't have the link. I guess he didn't see it in the comments. It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat. It's in the chat. There we go. All right. So
So I put this together. This is removed the Billy Corgan Smashing Pumpkins song,
Yeah.
Beguiled. So the actual song that's being played on social media is with Billy Corgan's song, and so I got to work with that song and show the other clip, please. Not the clip, but the little picture from
yeah.
So Natalia Markova, thanks all for making the video, and Billy for Beguiled song. And we here at Off Wrestling, we always love and support Natalia. I'm so happy to call her my friend. Thank you, Billy, and Smash Bum for the use of the song.
Yeah. That I mean, we have always said time and time again, it is an absolute shame that Natalia is not on a bigger stage than she currently is right now. And nothing against NWA. They are doing amazing stuff. But she totally needs to get that she needs to get that push to AEW or WWE.
Well, here's the thing. I think that she's loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Because if she's gonna stick with us, she's gonna stick with Billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because she's so loyal.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, Billy Corgan, they just bought another promotion. There's a good chance that Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling might be involved with the NWA at some point. So I mean,
but we'll see in a year and a half when Natalia's contract is over.
Yeah.
If AEW picks up the phone.
Yeah. They should. I mean, Tony Khan, you watch this show. Make the call, dude. Make the call.
I can tell you for a fact that Natalia Markova has been on their radar since she appeared on Dark.
Yeah.
So it's not that they haven't noticed her, they have.
Yeah. Well, 2025 is going to be the year of Natalia Markova. Whoa!
Black Mamba, J Daddy, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, baby, what's going on, fellas? How you guys?
How's it going, brother?
We're just talking the news, and we're talking about the project that Natalia Markova and I just worked with making the clip with the Smashing Pumpkins in it.
Oh, very nice. Well, she deserves it, you know. And first off, I apologize for asking for the link. I'm in the middle of driving. I didn't want to. If I scrolled back too far, I might have gotten in trouble. But I want to piggyback off your comment about Natalia going to AEW. I believe it's long overdue. I think she would be a valued addition. But this is going to sound wrong, but I hope you guys get my perspective of where I'm going with. I want them to add her. She's overdue. But I want them to put her in there in a position where she's in a good storyline. She's ready to fire out the gates right off the bat. And she does not wind up being one of the names that gets lost in the shuffle. I don't want to see her be a Deonna Purrazzo, who is fantastic. I don't want her to see her wind up being Camille, who is fantastic. I want her to be there, but I want her to make an impact, the impact she deserves to be made on in front of the mainstream audience. So
the other thing, Jay, is that when she signed with Billy Corgan, the NWA recently, about 4 or 5 months ago. It's that she didn't have quite the notoriety that a lot of the other people have. So she really has to make a name for herself in NWA before she comes over to AEW. I don't think the time is right now. So she doesn't get lost in the pack. They need to put that belt on her in NWA and make her unbeatable.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I think that, let her build her. I don't want to say build her way up because look, I've liked Natalia since I saw that show where she interfered for my girl Brandy Lauren and beat the snot out of now Shotzi Blackheart. If I saw her, I'm like, I'm not going to say what my first reaction is, but I'll say it had something to do with the words, "Oh my God, this girl's it."
Yeah.
So we're talking a long time, but also AEW is a different bird of a different feather. You all know that. You could do a million things and you could take a million steps and the indies, which I will always respect, but when you get to AEW and WWE, it's a whole different world. And she's got it. I mean, she will absolutely, I think, make waves. But there's also so many mouths to be fed too, and that's why I'm not going to use that word buried. Because last time I was on here, I mentioned Aaron. I said, look, we're using that term with Camille way too loosely.
Let's save that for the airing of grievances a little later on.
but I said, yeah, but they use that. Like I said, they use that term way too loosely, and I don't think that she would get buried. But I also want to make sure she's in a position where, like you said, even if she's not at the top of the line, she's challenging.
In AEW, you only have 3 matches, especially I don't know what this Fox show is going to be like, but you're going to only have Dynamite, Collision, and maybe the Fox show, Shockwave.
Yeah.
And then, you can only have 4 matches a week with women. So
absolutely.
Who gets that spot?
Yeah,
absolutely. And there are some girls that are in CZW. There's one, Val Verman, who I think I call her Temu Tiffany. Okay, because when you look at her, she gives me the Tiffany Stratton vibes. Okay, but she's more of a whereas Tiffany's more of an uppity character. this girl's more of a street Philadelphia girl. She's one, but she sits there and ones like that will sit there and say all the time, "I need to get to AEW. I need to get to AEW." Not yet. Prove yourself here. Make your name here. So sometimes it's okay to be the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Rather than just another fish in the aquarium.
Well, like same with Hollywood. What's her name? Hollywood. I forget what her real name is. But
Hollywood. The Holly Dead.
Yeah.
Hollywood from the wrestling show on Netflix.
Yeah. OVW.
Yeah, OVW. Like she's on NWA now. She wanted to get to WWE, and then for whatever reason, but now she's getting prominent on NWA, and like sometimes that's where you got to shine.
Let me pose a question to you guys. Let's say AEW rings the doorbell, and she answers the door, and they give her a nice contract. Who do you see her going into a storyline with? What other women's wrestler do you think she
For
should
Natalya?
get into it? Yeah, for Natalya.
Oh my goodness! Like, Statlander would be amazing. Deeb would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like all these like really good wrestlers, but she can put over people like Camille and make them look like $1 million. Like people that aren't that good.
Yeah.
She can elevate. So there's so many things that you could do with her.
Yeah.
I want a Natalya Willow Nightingale feud myself. I mean that to me, Natalya because Natalya could play that super. I'm trying to use the white knight right word for it. It sounds with edge. She can play the super edge card very well. She is a very very dynamic. And Willow is the consummate.
You put her as a manager, Stokely Hathaway.
Her with Stokely would be gold. Be golden. And you got it. Well, that's Willow. I say Willow because let's be honest. There's another one who's sort of right now stuck in limbo ever since that feud with Statlander sort of got pushed to the side and ended without no resolution. She's just been there. I think a feud between those two would be an amazing mid-card feud, and I say mid-card very loosely because look, all these girls are main event caliber. I think that's one note that would get a lot of people paying attention.
Yeah, I'm for Statlander. I think her versus Statlander for about 2 months would be amazing, and then have her go after the TBS.
They had there's a clip of them wrestling in the Indies.
Yeah.
Before AEW, and that clip they put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Like, give it a look. Statlander versus Natalya Markova. They don't see the whole match, but you see the clips, and those two look good.
Yeah.
Well, remind me if that feud actually happened to save a bunch of those matches on my telephone, because when I'm out coaching these high school football games or covering these high school football games as you're scouting, and it's like 10 degrees below zero with the wind chill, I'm going to need something to warm me up real fast. Her versus Statlander, just the aesthetics alone is enough for me, man. Sign me up. Sign me up, man.
or you could have the ass versus ass challenge with Anna Jay.
See, I'll sit there. I'll sit there and say this, okay? I will say this. Anna Jay is a gorgeous girl, and this is going to – there's one in this that's watching now. Tiffany will say, I can't believe he's actually saying this about a girl. I couldn't with Anna Jay because she's in my no-fly zone. She's way too – she's like, if anybody that's my daughter's age, I can't look at that way. But I can see where the male population, ass versus ass, that would be ratings. That would be ratings galore.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. All right, let's get to Penta. Guess who showed up at a AAA TV taping? Penta El Zero Miedo, that is correct. He is, in fact, in AAA just for the moment until eventually Ray Phoenix.
Because we talk about his brother.
Well, it's interesting because Ray Phoenix responded on Twitter to someone who said AEW needs to let Ray Phoenix or use Ray Phoenix more, and his response was, no one stays in a place where they received inhumane treatment.
Now, this to me is unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like what's going on, like that's fine. It sucks. But never air your dirty grievances on social media.
Yeah.
Like, I find it so unprofessional when wrestlers do this. Like, it burns a bridge for you. It's so incredibly dumb.
Absolutely. 100%.
What do you think of this, Jay?
That's a great. This teeters on the line of what that's one thing I'm against too. Like, look, bring it up in public, bring it up to your peers. That's great. Leave it off social media. Like, nobody wants to look at your dirty plates when they come into their house, when you go into their house. You know what I mean? And I will say, I see Ray's complaint. I do. And Tony, you guys know me. I play it right down the middle. I don't. If they're right, they're right. They're wrong, they're wrong. Tony needs to stop being petty. Tony needs to stop playing the Vince McMahon card and holding on to Ray and let him go. If he's not going to use him, let him go do something else. Even if that means he shows up, which it's happening. It's going to happen now. It's going to happen a year from now. This is crap that, everybody loved Tony Khan because he wasn't Vince McMahon. Yet he does stuff like this to him. He does stuff like this to Ricky. He does stuff like this to Wardlow. Guys that don't want to be there.
I don't think it's petty at all. I don't think it's petty at all because he took a lot of abuse when he was letting the wrestlers he wasn't doing this before. And now he's doing it because it's a business. And you can't if someone's under contract, they're under contract.
There is a fine line between being a boss. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
They're your rival. It's like you're giving them ammo. Why would you give your rival ammo? That's my point.
Well, I mean, to me though, there's a fine line between being a boss and being, I don't know. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I think this just gets contentious and it makes things ugly. And the last thing we want is more, now everybody has a voice on social media, and although they shouldn't, they're going to use it. Yeah. With all the crap that went down with Phil, they don't need. Yeah, if it means going to the rival, look, he's going to go now anyway, and that's the whole thing. And I say this about WWE too. Look, somebody doesn't want to be there, don't be there. It's a privilege to be in AEW. It's not a right. And if you don't want it, there's thousands that have been toiling in the indies and have been breaking their backs for a long time to get that opportunity. So yeah, would it be Tony buckling down a little bit? Sure, but he's taking more control of his company, which I credit. But this though, it leaves a stink, man. It does, and it's not even Tony Khan. It's just.
I think that. What you can do in the meantime is you have Penta show up in WWE. You sign him, you have him kind of pave the way, and then later Phoenix can join him.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
But use them then. At least use them then. At least use them while, you're going to keep him under contract. That's fine. I will concede to that. Use the guy. Don't freeze him out. Even if it's coming in there and putting everybody else and their mother over, he spends the next month.
Yeah, we talked about this last time you were on the show, and for whatever reason, there's this divide. Like, they didn't used to do this. There used to be like the guy would wrestle until his last, his last day with the company, and now it seems to be like, oh, you're not going to resign. We're going to take you off TV, and that goes for both companies.
Yeah,
it's just something they do now.
I mean, we talked about it on Wednesday, and I'm with Jay. I mean, for me, it's sour grapes because you're preventing someone from doing their job and making a living doing it. And I'm not saying that he would make more money at WWE, but he have a hell of a lot more exposure. You have a hell of a lot more merch to sell, like get the Lucha Brothers there. Just let them go. It's not going to hurt your business because ultimately what's going to happen is they're not going to know what to do with the Lucha Brothers because the casual fans of WWE don't know who they are. And they're going to go over like a brick in water. It's going to sink.
Let's talk about this really quickly.
That's right.
DIY are the new tag team, World Tag Team, WWE. I don't know which belt they're. SmackDown.
Yeah.
They are the new tag team champions. The Motor City Machine Guns already lost the tag belts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
that's
shocking.
I mean, like I said, the casual fan doesn't know who the Motor City Machine Guns are. The three of us, we know they are one of the greatest tag teams to ever walk the face of the earth. But Joe Black, who brings his kids to Raw or SmackDown or whatever, I don't know who these guys are. They're like Motor City Machine Guns. Sounds kind of racy. I don't like the name, and then they're just going to ignore it. So put it on DIY because they've built DIY up, I mean, they built Gargano and Ciampa in NXT. and it carried over right into the middle of SmackDown. So
Listen, you got 2 tag belts on Raw and SmackDown.
yeah,
You don't even have enough tag teams to support one set of belts.
Bingo.
yep. I agree.
And here's a question. I agree with what you said there, Almighty. You're exactly right. Look, these are just two. What's the difference between to these WWE fans? What's the difference between these gentlemen and I don't know, the Lucha House Party?
Yeah.
Great talent. I'm not knocking them. I mean, what's the difference? Why should I care about Ray Phoenix any more than I cared about Lindsay Dorado or the 2 incarnations of Sin Cara? To them, and what you've done in AEW means nothing to the casual WWE fans. That's been the rival that's been propped up.
A lot though. When Cody came, they used the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, but Cody like Punk. These are guys that already had proven their chops in the WWE. They had proven they were names that people were familiar with. You know what I mean? So Cody was able to use that to his benefit because he was the name that people had seen for so long. He was like the prodigal child that went away and finally came home. Yeah. Punk was the same way, and it's like Punk was actually more of a cold hero to WWE fans for the nonsense he pulled in AEW that was as unprofessional gets. But because he did that, he did this to the rival promotion. He did this to the T-shirt company, as Triple H called, and this is not my words, it's theirs. He became even more of an icon to them because of that. But you got these youngsters that are coming in now, like not youngsters, but you got these newcomers that would be coming in that aren't established to them. Who cares? Like that would be their thirst mind. What is the difference between them and the Motor City Machine Guns? They're just 2 more guys on the roster in the tag team division that is so short and thin anyway that why should we really care?
Now here's something interesting. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough barely defend those titles. But the real funny thing is that they got Finn Balor chasing the world title while being the tag champion. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
How many times have Finn and JD actually defended those belts? And that's the one thing I screamed at WrestleMania. They're splitting the belts. That's a terrible idea. You don't need 2 tag team belts because there's, as you said, Almighty, there are barely enough quality tag teams that people rally behind to have 1 set of tag belts, let alone 1 for each brand. Again, have JD and Finn even defended the damn thing since they won them? I mean,
do you know when the tag team belts had the most relevance? When Jericho and Big Show were the unified tag team champions. They were on both shows, and that belts meant a lot because they're like, oh, the tag champs are here on SmackDown. They're here on Raw. It was a big deal.
I mean, WWE has the same problem with AEW's got a better tag division, but I mean, you want to talk about airing of grievances? Here's what grinds my gears.
Are we getting right into the grinding my gears now?
Yeah, let's just get into it.
Okay.
Here's what grinds my gears. Okay. WWE has a tag team, but they have too many belts. Now they're introducing 2 more belts, the U.S. Women's and the Intercontinental Women's Championship. It's too much. I get it that you want to, like, the Intercontinental makes a little sense. The U.S. heavyweight title for women does not make sense. Like, and when you look at who's in the U.S. tournament versus who's in the Intercontinental, you almost know who's going to win the IC belt for the women. It's probably going to be Valkyria because she's probably the best technical wrestler that's on that. And if they're going to use the same ideology that it's the workman's belt, then it's obviously got to go to her. It's not going to go to Dakota Kai. That's for damn sure.
So what I think about this is you have 2 tournaments going on at the same time.
Yeah.
You devalue both tournaments by doing it at the same time.
Absolutely.
Like you focus what they should have done if they're going to introduce these titles, which they don't need to, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about. If you're going to do this, you have a 6-month delay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You build up this tournament, and now you're like, oh, we're going to have but I think it's all rushed because of this Netflix thing.
Yeah. Well,
I
get
love
it.
your philosophy. Less is more. Less
Yeah.
is more with them.
I mean, to me, like, why don't you you have the speed belt now that's being defended only on Twitter, which is great, and that's where it should be. But you don't need 8 belts per division. You just don't. You
What do we
just
got?
don't need
18
that.
belts, or is it more now?
Less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more, man. Have one. To me, you want to have the IC belt or the US belt. That's great. Get
Yeah.
rid of the women's tag belts because those things have died a quick, painful demise.
Okay,
Look,
so
have
this,
one set of belts and have them defended on all 3 brands. Have these girls go to NXT and defend them.
Jay, we got to do this properly.
Yeah.
Tell me, Jay, what grinds your gears? Put up the logo. What grinds your gears?
Yeah, let's. I'm going to piggyback off what Almighty, and I don't want to steal his thunder because he said it very well. Look,
Well, you're going to talk
less
about the
is
tag
more.
belts. You told me this is what you wanted to talk about. You want to talk about the tag belts, women's tag.
Yeah,
belts.
the tag belts. The tag belts. You've got women's tag team titles. We barely have enough women that are that are being pushed in a position to where they can go after the women's world titles. Now you got a tag team division that is it's a makeshift women's tag teams. That the things barely get defended. I mean, they've done nice with Jade and Bianca to build up a storyline, but these are props, man. Have one set of tag belts, men's and women's, and have them defended against all 3 brands. Have them on Raw, have them on SmackDown, have them on NXT. It's not a terrible thing to have belts, bring exposure to shows. Look, there's a thing about a thrill of the chase. Let's let these people chase the belts like Bret Hart did, like Ric Flair did back in the day. Let them chase the belts rather than everybody carrying a consolation prize trophy belt that barely gets defended and left on the back of the hat check lady's door. I don't. That's my big gear is why are we over polluting this with belts when it's like you said, the speed belt. What's a speed belt? Who gives a crap? Okay, It's on Twitter. It's on X. Okay, that's great. For 5 people that are online at the same time that are taking time out of complaining about something they may watch. Okay, it's no different than a 24/7. It's overstimulation.
Now, just to clarify, that speed belt isn't for us because it's getting a lot of views worldwide. Those speed belts. A lot. So if maybe we don't like it, maybe we don't get it, but it's not for us.
Yeah.
But by all means, absolutely great. But at the same time, look, you want to use it for Twitter, cool. You want to use it for X, great. I still think the oversaturation of these titles makes the value of a win not as big as it once was. Okay, Ricochet beats, Ricochet wins the title. It gets a little bit of headlines online, and it's like these title wins should mean something to these guys because it's years of work that they put forth to this. Yeah. And instead, here you win the tag titles on a random throwaway episode of Raw. Okay, who cares? They'll be lost like the Motor City Machine Guns. Yeah. They come in and win the tag belts right away. And did anybody notice?
Nope.
So when it comes to the women's tag belts, so the options, what I would do, you either delete the women's tag belts altogether, or you do what Jay said and you merge them with the NXT belts and you have them showing up on all 3 shows.
Yep.
But honestly, what I would do, I would just delete the women's tag belts.
Yeah.
Hit delete. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Jay? What would you do with those tag belts?
Me? Like I'm with you.
Sorry, that's the JFP. Sorry.
I would do 1 set for women, 1 set for men. That's it. 3 brands. You chat. Somebody challenges, you do it. I don't mind the women having tag belts. I think it's a great idea because Katana Chance and her tag partner, would they have ever had singles runs? No. But you give them the ability to go chase and defend the tag belts. It's pretty good. And it gives them an opportunity to be seen, And same with the men. Slap the belts on guys and let them just circle around.
Unify those tag belts on both the women and the men and make them mean more.
Yeah. Because, DIY, but I couldn't tell you it's Judgment Day, right? That has the Raw tag belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they defended it twice since they won them. Twice since they won them. This bull crap. Like, unify them and let them run around the inner promotions. So, what
All
grinds
right,
your
so
gears?
let me tell you what really grinds my gears. The trios titles in AEW. The 6-man title in ROH.
Yep.
Get rid of them.
Okay.
Just get rid of them. Both. Because, like, it's hurt. Like, AEW had an amazing tag division before those titles.
Yep.
Because now you're trying to have the 6-man mean something. You're trying to make the trios mean something, and trying to make your tag division mean something. It's too much.
Yep. I agree.
You get rid of those trios titles, and now that tag division is slamming again.
Yeah.
It's just it's too much, and like it. They always try to make these trios titles work in all these different promotions all around the world for years and years and years, and it always goes away because it just doesn't work. There's too much.
Yeah.
And that's I think you get rid of the trios titles, you get rid of the 6-man, and you have some outstanding tag teams do their thing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think the trios is just bullcrap. I think, in all honesty, like, highlight tag teams. You're right. I mean, they're not even defending them. I mean, like, okay, so the Death Riders are there, but when's the last time we actually saw a trios championship match? It's been about 3, maybe 4 months. Like, it's been a long time. It's ridiculous. Again, it's an oversaturation. It's giving guys the opportunity.
Yeah, it was when they won when the Death Riders won it. I don't think they defended it.
Yeah. So, like,
they defended it one time. They did.
Yeah. You give them the opportunity to put the belts on guys who normally wouldn't have championship belts. Like, well, at that point, Top Flight, before they decide to start breaking up. But, ultimately what it comes down to is, everybody has to eat. I get it. But at the same time, you're not showcasing anybody because it's sitting on a group of guys that don't need the belt. They don't. The Death Riders don't need the trios belts. The Bucks and the Elite don't need the trios belts. What do you think, Jay?
Hey, I agree with you 1,000%. Look, I mean, you bring up a point. Everybody's got to eat. I get it. I'm with you on it 100%. But some people are meant to eat caviar. Some people are meant to eat ramen noodles.
Yeah.
I mean, and that doesn't mean that ramen noodles aren't a good meal. You know what I mean? But and I hope you guys get my analogy when I'm saying that. Like, look, not everybody needs to eat at the same table. Not everybody needs to have belts that especially, well, let's be honest, you win a belt and it doesn't get defended, it doesn't get used. Is it really benefiting you? Is it any different than the belt you wear around your pants when you go outside that you can buy at Walmart for $24.99? I mean, it's there. Belts used to mean something. A belt, I'm not saying a belt defined the man because it shouldn't, but the man should define the belt. And, what is each person that wins these belts going to do to elevate the stock and make them better? And you got the trios belts, like you said. Look, I get it. It works in AAA. It works in Japan. Not to be ignorant, and please do not take this the wrong way, everybody. That look, things that work in CMLL and things that work in New Japan don't necessarily work in front of this casual United States audience. It doesn't get it the entire time.
Yep.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely. Jay, what grinds your gears?
I'll tell you what grinds my gears, man. Big one here. People that use the term buried very, very freely. It's almost like anytime somebody goes out and loses a match, oh, they're buried. They aren't winning titles. They're buried. Look, buried is a pretty strong term. Okay, if you're appearing on TV, as I said before, not everybody's going to eat at the same table. Some people have their specific roles. And here's a story: when somebody loses and aren't necessarily getting what you want them to, there is the thrill of the chase to where when eventually they get to the point where they win that big gold or they win that opportunity, it means a lot more. I'm going to kick back to the Attitude Era with Mick Foley. Okay, when Mankind won that belt, you know what made that so damn special is that he had toiled and he had been a guy who had been beaten up and actually buried in WCW. Yet when he wins the belt after being, sort of going through hell in a handbasket, it still to this day remains one of the, and The Rock's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but seeing Mick Foley beat The Rock on that episode of Raw was one of my, the most emotional moments I've ever had as a wrestling fan. It didn't involve a tragedy. I mean, you
Thanks,
knew
Eric
Mick
Bishop. I
earned that.
changed the channel.
Gee, thank you, bitch. Thank you, Tony Schiavone, for that one. But it meant so much more because you knew he had fought the grind to earn this. So people, again, don't use the term buried. Just because somebody loses a match or two or three or they're not on top right off the bat doesn't mean they're not going to be. Sometimes you just have to sit there and wait for the story to unfold and tell itself.
I agree. I mean, it's, I can't add anything to it. That was top.
Yeah, like for I think a lot of what the fans are doing is they have their favorites.
Yeah.
And when their favorites do not win, they throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
My favorite's being buried. No, your favorite just isn't getting the push right.
Yeah.
Your favorite is on the back burner. He's on the back burner doing back burner things.
Yep.
And soon,
and maybe they won't ever get that push, Aaron.
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he's on the back burner, she's on the back burner, and eventually when it's their time to cook, they're going to be on the front burner, and they're going to be eventually winning championships.
Yep.
When you're buried, it means you're doing jobs night after night, and that you're not getting any offense in. You're not getting to show your stuff. You're just getting a squish.
Yep. I agree.
Like, for example, I'll give you a buried.
You're a warm body showing up. Listen.
I'll give you a buried. It's when Matt Riddle was accused of all that stuff, and he came in and lost his match in WWE, and that was never seen again.
Yeah. Yeah. Buried. I'm just kidding. You know what grinds my gears? Let me tell you what grinds my gears. The over-sexualization of women in wrestling. You're either going to look super butch or you're going to look like a dominatrix. There is no in between. And I get it. WWE does it more than AEW does. AEW at least lets their wrestlers wear the outfits that they want to wear. But the fact that WWE hugely over-sexualizes their women wrestlers, especially like Tiffany Stratton. Like they just, and I get it. Your male, your audience is mostly male, 18 to 35. They're not there to see sweaty men slapping the crap out of each other. They're there to see some TNA. Doesn't mean that it's right, and it's not. And really, all honesty, what they need to do is they just need to knock it the F off and let these women. Miro is buried.
Miro isn't buried. He's off TV because he doesn't like the choices being given to him.
Exactly. Not buried.
That's different.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they just overhype sexually their talent in WWE. AEW does it too.
I think these guys, Velveteen Dream was buried. Like, it's different, but yeah.
No, Velveteen Dream was not buried. Velveteen Dream did something wrong, and he got what he would deserve.
Amen.
There's a lot of debate on that one, so it's who knows?
I mean, Marty Scurll is not buried.
Well, that one's different. Like the accusations versus did he actually do it? There's like. Sometimes you get buried by accusations, which sucks.
You want to know who got buried? Jesse the Body Ventura got buried. You know why he got buried? Because he wanted to start a union. That's being buried.
And Hogan ratted on him.
That's niche.
Yes.
And to try. What grinds you?
Yeah, but I do agree with you about the women. Like it's one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
What really grinds my gears?
Yes.
fans who are constantly complaining about the products that AEW and WWE
Yeah.
produce. Like, I get it. Like, you know, you want to be a smart mark, you want to express your opinion, but like, there comes a point you just have to sit and enjoy the product.
Yeah.
Just smell the flowers. They should be doing this. They should be doing. Just chill for a second. Enjoy the product.
Yeah.
There are times to complain, yes.
Yeah.
And what I mean by this is that you have to pick your battles. Not everything is something you want to complain about,
Yep.
because you'll just come up like a crabby little whiner.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%. Hey, you know what's the worst thing that ever happened to the sport of professional wrestling? The internet wrestling community. There you go. That's all I have to say.
Like, remember when we were watching wrestling, we just sat and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We didn't have an outlet afterwards, right? Just like,
I don't like it. Paul, this. You know what? You know, I mean, the internet wrestling community as a whole has the opportunity to do beautiful things. Now, here's the thing. I'm a filmmaker, and you have people who just go to movies to enjoy movies, and these are the guys who are like, well, how come Transformers doesn't win an Oscar? You know, they go for the pure entertainment. You have cinephiles who are like, oh, why in the world did Silence of the Lambs win the best picture? Does not make any sense. Like, as bad as the essentially the film community is and film fans, the internet wrestling community is just downright demonic. I mean,
yeah.
demonic. They
Now,
are
I just want to go on a
horrible.
rabbit trail here because I fell asleep watching Superman, the Christopher Reeve story
Yeah.
last night.
How did you fall asleep watching that?
Well, it was late and I wanted to watch it, but I was
Yeah.
tired. So I fell asleep watching this. But there was part. So Christopher Reeve's dad was a bit of an asshole
Oh yeah.
who did not give him any love. Like when he told him he was playing Superman, he thought he was playing some sort of book. There's something intellectual about something in the Superman or something like that. And he thought it was that, and he was going to give him a cheers. But then he found out it was the comic book superhero. He was so disappointed in his son. Like, here's what grinds my gears: dads who do not give their son, like, how do you not celebrate your son is in a major motion picture?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? Film and Hollywood they are absolute wackadoo at times.
Then you get those off-Broadway play people. You're like, he was telling them, I'm going down to Warner's to audition for Superman. And a lot of the people are like, don't do it. Don't sell out.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, what the?
Please. Somebody gave me $10 million to play Superman's best friend, Jimmy Olsen. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Give me $50.
I pay you $50.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll be Jimmy Olsen. Here we go.
So you know what really grinds my gears? Okay. The fake severe injury angle.
Yeah.
Bothers the hell out of me because you invest a lot of time, effort, and energy in following these people in their careers. Now, like Bryan Danielson's the exception to the rule. We know Bryan Danielson is pretty much broken. I mean, the brother is barely hanging on by a sinew at this point. I don't know how he's even walking. But like Randy Orton pretending that he got, he got a concussion, like it's disturbing because when you look at like Tua Tagliavia, or however you say his last name, the quarterback from Miami, when he got hit and he just like clenched up, that's legit. Randy Orton taking the worst DDT I've ever seen in my entire life and then acting like he's crippled.
Elvis
And-
says CM Punk on the mic grinds his gears.
Elvis Martinez grinds my gears. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I think they can do this injury gimmick,
Yeah.
but it needs to be rare.
Yeah.
Don't do it 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
You can pull that off once a year,
Yeah.
if even.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like when someone is dealing with a legitimate career-ending thing.
Yeah.
Like that would be using Big E next week and having him carried away in a stretcher.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't do it.
No, don't do it. Because you emotionally invest in these guys. And when when I saw Randy Orton, for 2 seconds I was like, oh good Lord. And I realized they're just faking it, because legitimately they would have gone to commercial if it was that legitimate of an injury.
I like the one that Billy Starks did in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like she did it really, and then she
yeah.
I like it when you do it in a match and then you lie to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
That's different. Where you're playing everyone, you're playing like you got an injury, and then you just attack them.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I don't like it when the company's playing just especially if they were to do this, that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. If the refs goes like that, it ain't good. They're gonna go to commercial. They're gonna do something. So
have you ever seen them actually do a fake one?
No.
So if they don't do this,
then
it's probably fake.
Yeah. What grinds your gears, Canada Dry?
Effie from GCW.
Yep.
Now he's made some comments in the past about NWA and Billy Corgan and just shitting all over that promotion. And now he's fighting with Tony Khan and bitching about Tony Khan. And he realizes that it's bad. And he puts out this thing and he hides under the rainbow.
Yeah.
And saying because he's gay, he's blah, 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 and he's nitpicking, and he doesn't come across like he wants to because of how the gay people are.
Yeah.
And I just find that utterly repulsive. He's hiding under the rainbow.
Yeah. I agree.
I find that repulsive. Instead, if you want to say, I'm sorry, I should have said that, just say it.
Yeah.
Don't make all sorts of, and he says, I don't make any excuses, but paragraph later.
But you know what? Effie is, it's really cool that he's an openly gay wrestler, much like Anthony.
Yeah, Bowens. I don't mind it.
What I don't like is Anthony Bowens doesn't walk around and say, well, I don't get the rub because I'm black and gay. He doesn't come out and bitch and complain. But Effie, all of a sudden, all I see is just Effie complaining. I don't want to see Effie complaining. I want to see Effie wrestle, because he's a good wrestler. He actually is a really good wrestler. But just shut your trap and just do what you're supposed to do, and that's go.
The other thing is you're burning bridges.
Yeah.
Do you think that NWA is going to let people under contract with them go to GCW now? Nope. Do you think that Tony Khan's going to let any GCW people go to GCW now?
Nope.
Probably not.
Probably not.
And it's do you think Effie's going to have a chance to wrestle in NWA? Nope. Do you think Effie's going to have a chance to go to AEW now? Nope.
Nope.
So now he's, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah.
I think this comes down to the thumper rule.
I like it.
If you can't say anything nice, don't say it at all.
Yep.
Simple.
I concur. You know what grinds my gears? Let me put my plat. Let me get this ready. You know what really grinds my gears? It's bloated rosters. And WWE is guilty of it. AEW is absolutely 100% guilty of it. They are just snatching people. Oh, Ricochet is a free agent. Let's get him in. Samantha Irwin. Hey, let's make her a wrestler. I'm going to pull her in. I'm going to do this guy. I'm going to put this girl. And then you get to a point where they make their debut for about 2 months, like Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo comes in. She has a great match and a great series with Tony Storm, and then now she's wrestling with Taya Valkyrie. Like, come on. Like, and I know you didn't spend bad money. You spent a decent amount of money to get her to come to AEW. And then you just kind of like, they're like, oh, and I guarantee you, it's going to happen with Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin, where they're just going to shuffle him off. Now, they'll get into the ring as soon as, the demographics and their rating of that match starts getting lower. They're going to go. Miro is another example.
Well, that's the good thing about what WWE does is that if they're not using people, they'll just cut them.
Yeah.
But it sucks because you don't want to be cut, but because you're out of a job.
Yeah.
But with other companies like AEW and TNA, that you have a shot to work. So maybe AEW should start cutting people that they're not going to use.
Like, and it's, like I get it, like ratings start lagging. Let's bring Ricochet. Oh my God, it's Ricochet. And everybody gets excited about Ricochet. And then that goes away because then the next person is going to come up. And it's just like, come on, guys. Like, you don't have to have every great wrestler that has ever wrestled present day. Like, like Hammerstone. Hammerstone's wrestling.
No, but you know who takes the heat on these ones is that when you get like say the Hurt Syndicate coming in.
Yeah.
Now someone goes down the pecking order.
Exactly.
So you are here. Now you go back one more because someone just moved in front of the line.
There you go.
So like it's tough because you got to do what you got to do to get the ratings and stuff. But like, it's the same as other sports.
Yeah.
If in football and hockey, if you sign a big free agent, and someone's coming on your first line, means someone's going down to the second line.
I mean, perfect example is this. The Nashville Predators spent a gajillion on free agency, Stamkos, and all these players that they got in. They have a horrible record. Just because you're bringing in Steven Stamkos doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into W's at all. And like, I'll say with Dallas, like, or the for example, it's the Yankees. They're going to spend probably $800 million for Juan Soto. So he's going to get his payday, and he's not going to do shit. He's not going to do squat. He's just going to be another bust at this point. So, Canada Dry, what grinds your gears?
Flippity flop wrestling. What really grinds my gears is flippity flop wrestling.
Yeah.
It happens in AEW. It happens in TNA. Yeah. It happens in WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of the high spots, like taking risks for low payoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay for taking risks, but they better like mean something.
Yeah.
Stop doing dives where everyone's catching you.
Yeah.
Stop doing the dives outside the ring.
I concur.
Stop. And like I feel like if you stop doing this, your product is going to get better, and all the other small things will mean more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I get it. You want to do some high spots because that's what the fans like. They like to see the guy jumping off the top of a cage, breaking both ankles, and now he has to have surgery. Hello, Bronson Reed. But,
hello, Adam Copeland.
Yeah, Adam Copeland breaking both legs.
We're looking at you two guys.
Yeah, get back to the days of just old school wrestling sometimes. Like, put on an old school match. Like, for example, Brody King and Claudio had an amazing match. Was there flippity floppity? Nah, very little, if any. It was a downright grudge match, and like as much as I
The
as much
benefits
as I,
are you also lessen the chance of injury.
there you go. Yeah, I mean Darby Allin is probably not going to wrestle past 35 at the rate
Did you
he's
see
going.
that spot on Collision
Yeah,
where he landed on the chair?
yeah,
I guess the guy was supposed to be there, but he still did the spot.
yeah. Because Darby Allin is kind of
Darby Allin, like, wow.
yeah. So I'm gonna do one more, and then we'll have you do the last one. So you know what really grinds my gears? You ever seen the opening scene of Blade when they're in the club in the meat locker, and all of a sudden it rains down blood, and everybody's covered, and the vampires go whoa, and they start attacking everybody. What really grinds my gears is AEW's literal use of blood, and almost every match, you at some point every episode of you're gonna see someone bleed. Like really, like I get it. You want to be a little bit different. WWE still has a no blood rule on Raw and SmackDown.
Okay, so can I counter this one?
Go ahead.
Because you might I haven't seen a lot of blood in AEW lately, actually.
Yeah, they've toned it down.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You have a War Games match in WWE with no blood?
Yes, with a group of people.
So, like,
called
maybe
the
AEW could lend some blood over. We'll give you some blood if you.
Oh, we'll make you a trade. You give us Ray
Please,
Phoenix.
sir, can I borrow a cup of blood?
You give us Ray Phoenix. We'll give you give us 55 gallons of blood, and I will give you Nick Nemeth. There you go. Transaction.
Yeah, like I feel like you're right. Like blood needs to be a sometimes thing.
Yeah. It needs
Special matches.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it happens, but like just going out and sometimes it just like the match with Jericho and Ishii.
Yeah.
Like there was blood, but it was just from doing regular wrestling. It wasn't blading.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So here's what grinds my gears. So just these chops, like doing chops.
Yeah.
And just doing these high moves and all these different things.
Yeah.
You're just hitting each other doing these moves. And there's no story.
Yeah.
There's no storyline.
Yeah.
Just like Bret Hart was a in-ring storyteller.
Yep.
And a lot of these wrestlers don't know what storytelling is.
Nope. Not even close.
They don't tell stories in their matches as much as they used to.
Yeah.
Like just appreciate the little things.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like Jericho is still a good storyteller in his matches.
Yeah.
Like the little things, the little details in the match that come to the end of the match. And it's like, oh, that's why that happened. And he's selling the knee because, it's setting up for this. And It's great.
Yep.
And I feel like they don't do as much storytelling as they need to.
Yep. I can agree. I totally agree. Guys,
lay off the chops. Lay off the chops.
Ah, we don't need these. Like, leave the chopping to the professionals like Walter or Gunther or, leave it to them.
So Bret Hart had this post that I shared to AFW community, and someone like, you should not be going home with welts on your chest.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you're doing it right, there should be no welts.
Yeah.
And I feel like all this is just lost on this new wrestling communities.
Yep, I agree. Guys, that's the end of the show. As always, we tell you, look down below. After you click like, after you click subscribe, so you know when we're on, so you can watch us whenever you want to. All the links are down below. So, for example, let's just say, I don't know, you have a significant other and they want to get like the effing comic book store shirt. What about the sharpshooter action? We got tons of shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. Now, if you want to give someone you really love and care for in your life a shirt, and you want to do it like an old school wrestler, guess whose store we run? Adrian Adonis' store. That's right, the adorable Adrian Adonis. You can get that shirt and many more at ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear.
Now, JP, a lot of people, they don't know this, but you can become a subscriber to this channel.
Yeah.
And you could donate a couple bucks and become a sidekick. There's different layers to this. You can donate. There's different things in your different rewards.
Yeah.
Like if you're giving 75, 80 bucks a month, you can come on the show whenever the hell you want.
Whatever you want.
Yes. You're like, I want to come on the show today. Well, you're a subscriber, so yeah, you get to come on the show.
You want to talk wrestling with us?
Yeah. Different levels. You can even get a t-shirt. We'll send you a t-shirt. Yeah. So there's different things when you become a subscriber to this channel. There's super chats as well that you can hit and give us a tip and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Support the channel.
Yep.
But remember to like and subscribe.
Yep. Have to like, have to subscribe, because that's hugely important for us. It gets the word out to everybody. Next thing you know, we're gonna be in 1 billion households at the same time. So on behalf of Canada Dry, I am the JFB.
And we wish you a happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus.
Remember to raise your fist in the air, put the devil in a sharpshooter, and just keep fighting. Serenity now!
Serenity now!
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.
I would like an order of serenity.